for the rest of the evening. And we are ready to begin. So let's start with check-in. I see we're missing a couple here. Please show them.
Thank you.
We're missing a couple over there, so.
Hello everyone, Robert Dodig. I am good. Missing is JB Browder, Helen Martin, and Jason's here, so yeah. My time constraint is 7 p.m. I have no elephants, and my expectation is to make significant progress this evening.
Thank you.
I'm Will Rothenberg. I'm doing well. I believe that Tony Abrams, Arlise. Oh, Arlise is walking in right now, so now I'm missing. I was trying to peek between the two. No time constraints, no elephants, expectation, significant progress.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, I'm Heather Leonard. I'm doing well this evening, struggling a little bit to get back on track after having a little bit of rest. I believe the missing have been noted. I don't have any time constraints outside of our 7 o'clock, no elephants, and I like significant progress.
Good afternoon, I'm Amy Desmore, and I'm fine. We have the missing down, no time constraints, no elephants, and I'd like the expectation to make significant progress.
Good afternoon, Kimberly Hutchins. I am good. Missing noted, no time constraints, no elephants, and significant progress.
Hello, everybody. Jason Kurtz. I am doing amazing. The missing has been noted. No time constraints, no elephants, and let's stay with the significant progress.
Hi, I'm Christine Schroed. I'm a staff attorney here. I'm doing okay. Missing noted. No time constraints except for the 7 o'clock stop time. I do not have any elephants, and I'm going to go with the significant progress.
I'm Roger Lloyd. I'm representing transportation. I'm doing well. Missing has been noted. 7 o'clock time constraints, no elephants, and why break the streak of significant progress?
I'm Suzette Rivera. I'm doing well. Missing has been noted. No time constraints, no elephants, and my expectation is to make significant progress.
My name is Candy Messenger. I'm doing well. Missing has been noted. No time constraints, no elephants, and my expectations is also significant progress.
Good evening. My name is Barbara Cedino. I'm doing well. I believe the missing team members have been identified. No time constraints, no elephants for me. Expectations the same as everybody else to make significant progress. Thank you.
Hi, I am Shannon Johnston, and I'm doing great. No time constraints, no elephants, and significant progress would be awesome.
I am Kiara Cubias. I'm doing okay. Missing has been noted. Time constraint is 7, no elephants, and my expectation is to make progress.
Good evening. My name is Penny Bennett. I represent Printing Services, and I'm Executive Director for Central Services. I'm fine. Missing is Tony Abrams on our side. Time constraints, I have none. There are no elephants, and my expectations are to make significant progress.
My name is Roderick Wilson. I'm doing great. Who's missing has been noted. No time restraints, no elephants, and expectation is to make progress.
My name is Rafael Cruz. I'm doing fine. missing is already noted. No time constraints, no elephants. My expectation is to make progress.
Hi, I'm Ken Neese. Exhausted. Missing's been noted. I don't have any time constraints, no elephants, and expectations is to make progress.
Good evening. My name is Arlene Williams. I'm the Vice President of Transportation. I'm doing well. The missing has been noted. Time constraints, 7 o'clock, no elephants. My expectation is to make progress.
Good afternoon, my name is Vivian Hawkins, I'm doing fine, no, missing is noted, no time constraints, no elephants, expectation makes significant progress.
My name is Amanda Evans. I'm doing good. Time constraint 6 o'clock. No elephants. Progress.
Amanda, did you say 6 o'clock you have a time constraint?
6.
6 o'clock you have to leave?
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Peterson, Director at Island Coast FBA and Chief Negotiator for SPALC. I'm doing well. The missing has been noted. No time constraints, no elephants, and expectation is to make progress.
Amanda Guzman, I'm doing great.
Amy French, I'm doing well. Missing is noted, no time constraints, no elephants, and my expectations are to make significant progress. And good afternoon, I'm Donna Mutzenart. I am doing well. I have no time constraints, and my expectation is to help you make significant progress. It's been a while since we met, so I'd quickly like, we have our norms posted here, so I'd just like to quickly review those. And if anybody has anything to add, you're welcome to add. Because we made these back in September. Silent cell phones. We're open to everyone's comments. Respect each other. Limit sidebars. Maintain confidentiality. Talk about issues, not people, and trust the process. Anybody have anything to add? Okay, good. Thank you for being here this evening. I know the first day back after a nice break is, and now you're doing extra hours on top of a first day back, which is usually exhausting anyway. So we appreciate that, and hopefully we can get a significant progress made this evening. The agenda calls for the check-in, done. Proposed language for Article 8, proposed language for Article 12, proposed language for Article on professional development, the number is to be determined, and Article 10 compensation before we check out at 7. Now, my understanding is the proposed language was sent via email, but it was not received, and most of you probably haven't had a chance to review it. So, where would we like to go?
So I turn it way up. I did send some draft language, I think, to Elizabeth just before coming down here. Some of it is stuff that we had shared drafts of last year at bargaining, like Article 12. The Article 8 and professional development language 2. And it's just kind of a first draft to make sure that we've captured everything that we intended to, hopefully to save us time at the bargaining table. I think the plan is to allow time for you guys as a team to look over that and have some discussion about it, maybe have some discussion at labor management, and then hopefully come back and reach quick consensus around some of those items. Most of it's not very controversial or sexy material, but again, it was just draft language around what we already do for professional development, the leave stuff, which we discussed last year, and what was the other? Performance evaluations, just cleaning up and aligning that with TALC. So that's really all we had to report for tonight.
Anything else to add? Anybody from SPALC? All right, so what would we like to do with that? Bring back the language at another time, or
I think we can just leave it for now.
table it for now? For Article 8? Rob, did you have something to say?
I was just gonna make sure we had an agreement to do that, that's all.
Yeah, I will get that. So can I see thumbs if you're okay with doing that for now? And I believe there's a labor management meeting coming up to review it further. So, if everyone's okay with tabling those items to a later date. We've got 3 things out of the way right now, thank you. Now, the next thing on the agenda is compensation, which is Article 10. I do have a snapshot posted to Article 10. And part of the story was the work schedule at an additional 30 minutes. Not all transportation positions have gone to market rate and job descriptions, longevity pay for degree supplements, and increase for everyone. Our interest, our recruitment and retention, morale, student achievement, respect, manageability, affordability, living wage, and clarity. And no data was requested when we did the snapshot. So we don't have anything to ask for that. So with that, we now move to expanding on the story that we did the snapshot on. So story on compensation. Anybody want to begin? Let's see a hand over here.
I'm gonna pass it to Vivian.
All right, Vivian.
Okay, we talked about wages, hourly, more money for hourly pay across the board for everyone. Compensation, we wanted to, I think it was more about raises that we wanted to start discussing about.
That's what we're doing.
Right, so we basically wanted to start that, and get that started, hourly pay, more money for everybody. So, and I don't know if it was, Ali, if you wanted to say something? So basically that's what it is.
Okay, all right. Anybody else have any stories that go along with compensation? Anybody got stories? We did it. We did the story. You want us to? All right. It's like repeating. All right, no, I don't want you to repeat. If you have the story in front of you, and if you have anything to add, please add. What Vivian just did was a good reminder for all of us as to what we meant with our snapshot. So if there's no further story.
Well, I would just like to add something to the conversation, or at least give some information. Earlier today, we had a conversation briefly with SPALC leadership about an incentive bonus for the end of the school year. We are going to discuss that further on Wednesday's labor management, because it's not an entire bargaining team issue, because we're going to bargain that through an MOU. So, because there's some expediency relative to that. So, and that would be from the federal ESSER funds that President Biden and Congress has allocated because of COVID. So, yeah, sorry, Amy. So I just wanted to add that piece that we're talking about that separately from bargaining, but it is relative to compensation. Sorry, thanks.
Okay. Thank you. All right, anything else more to add?
Well, I just wanted to say that's in addition to the $1,000 that everybody will be getting on December 15th.
Okay. And that's already agreed upon.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I just want to be sure, I heard you say at the end of the school year or at the end of this year.
Well, at the end of the money we're talking about relative to a bonus that hasn't been decided upon would be for the end of the school year, a retention bonus, meaning people would have to work the entire second semester to get the money. The other bonus is December 15th. That's already been signed, sealed, and delivered. Well, not delivered yet, but signed and sealed.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, clarifications needed? All right, then I guess we are open to options. If anybody has any options for compensation. Anybody? We have no options. Nobody has any idea what they would like to do.
Well, I would just offer this. Don't be shy, first of all, and second of all, we did meet with the board, and we were provided bargaining authority, so we are here tonight to listen to story and options and however you would like to go about bargaining compensation. So we did do our due diligence on our side.
All right, thank you. All right, so they have the bargaining authority, so we need some specifics now about compensation and what you're looking for compensation.
Okay, we would like, oh, you want to go to the sidebar? Can we go to sidebar?
You need a caucus?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, you can have a caucus.
Yeah, let us have a caucus for 1 more, yeah.
And
10
then-
minutes.
That's fine. back from their caucus, so we need a caucus report. Elizabeth, you gonna do that, or?
Sure. I'll just stand back here. Thank you. Okay, thank you for that quick caucus break. So we actually were discussing more story, and we're going to share that with you. But also, we want to know what the bargaining authority is, and we think that's really only the way we can put options up on the board. So we're not going to give any numbers right now. In the past, the district has told us the authority, and we've gone from there. So I'm going to pass the mic to Penny, and she is going to start our story.
Okay, for the additional story. Penny?
Yes, I wanted to give you a little background. I've been in the district a long time. And I don't even make $22 an hour. But yet when I work my second job doing the exact same thing I do here, I make $31.50 an hour. The only reason I stay for this district is because of retirement and because of the health insurance. You do not know how many times I've been offered a job at the other place. And it was a hard decision for me not to take it. In all my years here, I was a single mother for 10 years. And it was not the insurance. It was not the look at retirement back then. It was the fact the money that I brought home had to put a roof over my kids' head, had to put clothes on their back, and food in their belly. And that's what every single parent goes through that has kids, even married people that have kids. Because nowadays it takes 2 good incomes to make a living. I'll be blunt honest with you, I don't know how people that have children today make it. It is one thing that you need to realize. In order to do all that, people have to have a good wage. If you want to keep people in this district with experience, with knowledge, and wisdom in what they do, you need to pay them good. Because people are leaving this district like rats off a sinking ship. I know we need over 300 teachers. We need almost 100, if not more than that, paraprofessionals right now. And a lot of them are going because of the money. And it's sad. People are leaving their careers behind because they can't afford to live on what they make. I'm a 59-year-old woman. I shouldn't have to have a second job to support myself, but I do. Thank you.
Anybody else? Rob?
No, go ahead. Speaking from a security perspective, it's like, I will say I've been in a district, I think this is my 10th year. I make $13.61. My daughter that's in college works a part-time job at BitLocks. She makes $15 an hour. That's kind of embarrassing. I mean, and we're dealing with kids. These kids are important. You know, if you can go to McDonald's and make more money, aren't the kids more important than that burger? If they burn that burger, they can just throw it away. They make more money doing that than we're dealing with precious gems. Like, I mean, you can't pay someone pennies and expect them to guard something that's worth millions. It's at some point we gotta, you know, we do have to change something. I mean, it's tough, and especially coming from working at Royal Palm. I mean, I got 17,000 steps already because I literally run around campus all day. And I mean, yes, we love the jobs and we love what we do. We love working with kids, but we do have to support our families at the end of the day. And it makes it tough. I mean, $13.61. I mean, you guys could do the math. It's like sad. I won't even tell my kids what I make because it's depressing. But I do love working with kids, and that's why we do it. So we just need the wages to match how we feel about working with kids.
Well, and I hope you continue the stories. It's difficult for me to not agree with everything you all have just said, and because I do. But McDonald's is a private industry and is not allocated money by the government to run their business. And so, although those comparisons are apt because people do go to private industry from the school district and leave, we don't have stockholders and people that are providing. Florida's a very difficult place for public education, let's just put it that way. So we're funded in such a way where it makes it difficult because we have a certain amount of money every year that we're provided and that we essentially have to bargain with. And I'll just answer Elizabeth's question so we don't beat around the bush. I mean, we're talking approximately $3 million for the bargaining unit. And that's reoccurring funds. And that's not talking about the bonus or the bonuses or anything like that. That's reoccurring funds. So how we want to go about bargaining that, I know we've talked about longevity raises or longevity pay and highest degree supplements and attendance, which may be separate from that. So we could possibly use ESSER funding for attendance because it wouldn't be something reoccurring after a certain amount of years. So that's flat out what we're talking about, which is generous from the board. In past years, it's been considerably less than that. So, you know, how we want to bargain that and dole that out and accomplish what we're here to do, that's what we're here to do. So, but you know, your stories are genuine and from the heart, and I wish I had a huge pot of money here that I could give to all of you, believe me. Huge meaning more than $3 million, but that's currently where we're at.
Thank you, Ron. Anybody else?
Hey, thank you. I just wanted to add to that to give a little bit of context about what that number means and where it comes from, basically. So that $3 million, and it's $3,027,563 to be exact, but it really is tantamount to or equates to a 2.5% increase. What is the cost of a 2.5% increase? And that is the cost of a 2.5% recurring increase. So if you all recall, this is more, and as Rob said, this doesn't count any bonuses, either the $1,000 that will come on December 15th or an additional bonus that may come after, depending on what happens within the discussions in labor management. So that is not included within there. And it is more than what the percentage equate that has happened in the past several years. And in this current year from the state, as Rob mentioned, we received a little bit more than a 1% increase from the state. So this really is almost double what the state really gave us. So we had to look within the dollars not only that the state gave us, but also anything that we may have had in the coffers that had remained, unexpended from previous year, to determine how much of an increase could we sustain over a period of time for all employee groups. And so that is kind of where that $3 million came from. So I just want to give a little a little context behind it so that everybody understood kind of what that number means. So I said it equates to 2.5%. Doesn't mean that that's exactly what the option is or how it has to be done. It's just what that number is equivalent to.
Thank you, Amy. I'm sure that helps.
Yep, 3,027,563.
Okay, anybody else? Marlies?
Thank you, Amy, for the explanation. I am floored, because here we go again with this 2.5%. And I understand we get our money from the government. And I understand that all of these different organizations we're talking about are not funded by the government. But I want the school board members to understand this. If they don't get better, they're gonna be in worse shape. The number that is given for the bus driver shortage is always 100. That number is not correct. We might have 100 routes that's not covered, but I guarantee you that number probably should be about 150 to 160 drivers. Those are the routes that we don't have covered, and those are also the sub-drivers that we're missing. I've been with this district for 31 years, and never in my career have we ever started a school year off with no sub-drivers. Each compound has at least 10 bus drivers. What the school board members need to understand, if they don't pay the people, they will leave. I said that last year, I'm saying it again. Amazon, if you are an experienced driver, I can go to Amazon right now and make $30 an hour. I had a young lady that I talked to a week ago that just started driving trucks, delivering pods, $21 an hour. Walmart is starting out with $25 to $30 an hour, depending on experience. I'm gonna say what I said last year. If they don't pay them, they will leave. We can't afford for no one else to leave out of any department. No teachers, no paras, no bus drivers, no bus attendant. We cannot afford it. And all the people in my department that's doing all the work is not even getting compensated for it. I mean, I've been here 31 years. I don't make $22 an hour. So for them to say $3 million and for it to average out to 2.5%, that's a slap in our face. That is ridiculous. The board members need to do better when it comes down to our raises.
All right, anybody else? Yes.
Okay, speaking on the paraprofessionals, we all know we're hurting. We got cafeteria duty, only one person in the cafeteria with almost 300 some kids eating. Can't find nobody. They're leaving. I had a paraprofessional come to me and say, Ms. Hawkins, I can't live like this, but I love my job. I love my job. But $13 an hour is not helping me. $500 every 2 weeks, that's not enough. I gotta feed my kids. I gotta feed my family. I gotta keep a roof over my family. So somewhere, somehow, is there a way that we can at least stabilize this? Get it to where people can feel okay. And
we looking after other people's kids, but we gotta look after who's doing it too, right? I mean, I love my kids. Every day I go to work, I'm happy. Happy to see them, happy to get the hugs. I'm happy. I don't wanna leave. But like everybody else, I'm struggling too. You know, I'm trying to buy a place to live myself. And when they call, get my information from the school district, my lender said, you need to find another job. You don't have enough money. My credit score is 750. It's my business, but I'm putting it out there. But my income is less, and I can't get a place to live. Not with this income. I paid $47 to my lender for him to get a report from the school district, and it came back, you don't make enough money. You in this little category right here. I can't buy. But I get up every morning, happy as a jaybird, come to work, do my job, and I'm in a BI room, if anybody know what that is. That's a behavior room. But I love my boys, I love my little girls, and everybody's straight, because I run it like that. Nobody's hurting nobody. But at the same sense, I mean, I get cursed out, I get pushed around. Some of them don't visit my teacher. And then after a while, I'm all kind of other words. So yeah, but I love my job. Don't get us wrong, all of us. I think everybody that's still hanging in here, we love our job. That's the main thing you need to hear. But also you need to hear that 2.5%, I mean, I have to, teachers can't teach and change diapers. Teachers can't teach and be on the bus ramp in the mornings, getting kids off and saying good morning, welcome to school, glad to see you. Teachers can't teach if they don't have a paraprofessional standing there to repetition what she don't talk, to get those kids going, keeping them going, right? They're leaving. I can't do it, Ms. Hawkins. You need to speak up for us. We voted you in. And I say, I'm doing that. I'm telling them. I'm speaking up for you guys. But they keep throwing these numbers and I don't know what else to do.
Anybody else? All right.
A couple of things that I think need to be said. First of all, regarding benefits and compensation and benefits typically are talked about simultaneously or at least close in time. I mean, it's important to note that our insurance fund, because of COVID, is down $9 million. So we are taking money from ESSER and putting that into the insurance fund so as to not in any way do that on the backs of employees. So the federal government money is going to essentially prop up or equalize the insurance fund. That's insurance that I believe most of you probably take from the district. And we are not increasing the board contribution. It's going to stay the same this year, which is 8,000, I forget the exact number, but so there will still be affordable plans, I think 2 of which are free, essentially, for employees. So it has to be taken into account. I know it's no solace, but total compensation is an important thing. Compensation doesn't just include how much money's in your paycheck every pay. So it's just important for me to say that. The other thing is, I hear you, I'm curious, and I know it's easy to say 10%, 12%, that's what we're looking for, but when I hear 2.5 criticized, which is certainly, you're right. I think last year, it was market rate and 1%, I believe, or something to that effect. So I wasn't here, but I mean, 2.5% is a lot more than 1%, folks. I mean, so when I heard the numbers from our finance folks, Dr. Desmore's, Ms. Letcher, I was actually floored that we had that much money available. So I don't know what you're all looking for. It's not, I just don't know what you're looking for. I would like to, it's easy to criticize 2.5%, but I'm not sure what that criticism is based on, considering what was in your mind, thinking we were going to come in here and be able to bargain with. So that'd be helpful if I could hear some of that. I see Arlise looking for the mic, so.
Okay. Go ahead, Arlise, anytime you're ready.
First of all, Amy, what was our raise last year, total? Amy, could you tell me what our raise was last year?
Yes, I can. It was 2% effective on February 1st, 2001 with no market adjustment. So we went in the middle of the year, went forward with the 2% with a one-time bonus as well of a little less than 300. Is that how you all recall it?
275. The bonus was 275.
It was, I have 294.50, but yeah.
So last year was 2% and this year is 2.5%?
That's right.
I apologize, I said 1%.
Yeah, you said 1%.
Okay, so, yeah.
But noted also as well, I wanted to say that began halfway through the year, right, that 2%.
Right.
So, which makes a difference depending on what and how we negotiate this time. That's a significant difference.
Right, okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, forgive me if I'm not jumping for joy, because the board members have given us an extra 0.5%. We take it. I mean, we're offended by it. We're out doing the work. We are doing the work. And I'm not gonna apologize for not jumping for joy for 2.5%.
I was giving,
That is, I'm asking for one.
at a time when it has been reported that we are beginning a recession and everything is up 6.25%, and you come at us with 2.5%? No. I understand why Arlise gets upset, especially those of us that have been here for so long. And there have been years where we didn't get anything, but we stuck with the district. To those of us that have been here 20, 25 years and longer, I'm sorry, but that is a slap in the face. And I know you may not understand that, but I remember those years when I got nothing and had to stretch what I had even farther when there really wasn't anything to stretch. So all those years that I hung in there in the district, right now, how I feel, we're wasted. We don't feel appreciated. We're not respected. And it's time that not only the board members, but administration realize this. In a lot of departments, there are no morale. A lot of us were listed as mandatory personnel and had to come in when there was COVID. There wasn't even 100 people in this building when I had to come in and go to work, because I was listed as essential personnel. And everybody in the district did it. Ken still had to do IT stuff. Vivian still had to get on and work with those kids. You know, last year we sacrificed. I would have come away with a whole lot more than $294.50. But we agreed that it had to be the same for everybody, because people were hurting. People are hurting now. You know, when you have parents who can barely put food on the table, even getting assistance from food programs, you know, and they go in for a lot of stuff and they don't qualify because they make just a smidgen too much, but they don't make enough to support their family. That's what we're facing. Every single one of us that's sitting over here can tell you somebody that they're having to help, or somebody that they know that's in that position, and 9 times out of 10, they work for the district. We have a very large percent of ALICE employees. And those are the people I really feel sorry for. I mean, let's face it, our custodians right now, they make about the same thing he does. And how they're making it, I don't know. And I say this for someone that's watched people struggle for a long time. And we need the money. We have agreed to, as I said, there were some years we got nothing. There's some years we took 1%. Last year we got the 2%. And the 2.5% in a normal year probably wouldn't matter quite that much. But it matters now when you're going to Walmart and you can stock shelves for $16 an hour. And that takes no training. But you have to have training to be a para. You have to have training to be a bus driver. You have to have training to be IT. And you even have to have training to do security. Training for printing. Training for every position that's sitting on this side of the table. We love our jobs. We want to stay. But if things don't change, we're not going to be able to afford to stay. That's what we're saying, and we're trying to get it across to you. We want to stay. We love our jobs. But if we can't afford to stay, we can't afford to stay.
All right. I think Vivian said at the beginning of this, some of us were rehashing what story we've already told. So, Vivian?
I was handed the years now, correct me? 2006, 2007, we got a step, 3%, state was funding, district appropriate. 2007, 2008, we got a step of 3%, state was funding. 2008, 2009, another 3% enhancement to the schedule, state funded dropped. 2009, 2010, 1% and a bonus. 2010, 2011, a 2% with a step, not retro. 2011, 2012, we got nothing. And most of it was 1% and 2% and nothing, and a bonus. The bonus really doesn't add to nothing. I mean, it's great to have, and thank God we get it, but it doesn't make us, put us where we need to be at. The bonus is welcome anytime, but we need that increase on our hourly pay. We really need it. Payrolls is very important. You don't want quantity, you want quality. We have payrolls, come in the door and say, you know, they do the wrong thing, they have to be guided the right way, they have to be shown the right thing. Some teachers don't want that parallel, or some teachers don't want the other parallel because she's been here long enough, she knows what to do. But we need training for that, also. Well, I know we are not talking about that, we're talking about compensation. But you want quality. And in order for you to get that quality, if a person come in with an AA degree or a bachelor's degree to being a paraprofessional, you need that, because that will help the kids and the numbers go up. That will help that teacher that's struggling trying to teach 30 kids in one classroom or 25 kids in one classroom. So if you're getting people coming in passing those tests that you got put up and bringing in AA degrees and bachelor's degrees, but they want to be a paraprofessional, they don't want to teach, they want to go on the wing of a teacher and learn the steps and learn the way, and maybe one day that para will be the teacher. You know, you want quality. In order for you to get that, you're gonna have to pay. And I don't know, like you said, the money is in the government's hands. We can only get what they can offer. But if all of us come together and say to the government, well, I need these people. I'm hurting. I mean, we need more money. Or you ain't gonna have, really, actually, you're not gonna have any teachers, because the pressure's gonna be hard if you don't have any paras. But some of these teachers need paraprofessionals. They need that extra help. You can't teach kids and change diapers at the same time. You can't teach kids and have a chair thrown across this classroom and you're standing up there to the board with your back turned. Or you got to get a kid because two of them done started fighting in the classroom at each other. It's not a school that you walk into and everything's glory. It's not. We got kids coming from all walk of life, coming into this here system, and they need the extra assistance. They need everything, but you're not going to get good quality with the 2.5%. Somewhere, somehow, we got to get this extra money. Because I got paras, good paras. I'm talking about really good paras, that their teacher loved them, and they do not want to lose them, but it's not enough money for them to feed their families. And they're going to walk out. They're going to give it up. They're going to find them a job. Some of them are already applying. And I'm saying, hold on, wait. Let's see what they do. Don't do anything. I can't live like this. I feel like I'm poor. Well, you know, they can't get food stamps. They make too much money to get that. You know, they can't pay the rent. They can't get on the assistance, what you call that? For low income. But they can't get that because they make too much money. So what are they going to do? They have to get a second job, or they have to pay, get more money from somewhere. People don't got credit cards to help buy groceries. People don't got loans to try to pay their bills, their car payments. They doing this, what is payday, payday? Something. It's a paycheck, something with the Suncoast Federal Credit Union. They give some payday where they borrow the money and I guess they have to pay it back. But that's like, borrowing money, you know, borrowing money and then you have to get in the hole and try to pay it back. I mean, somewhere, somehow, we have to help our workers to stay with the district, the job they love so much. If they didn't, they would have been gone, but pressure is on them. This economy is on them. They can't survive. What are we going to do?
All right. When you came back from caucus, you said you wanted to tell some more story, which we did, and wanted to know what the amount for the bargaining authority was, which you got. Where do you want to go from here? What do you need? Is there any additional data that's needed? Is there anything?
I think we're ready to caucus.
You want to caucus again? Okay. No problem. Ballpark? Time?
Probably 15.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We have one blank sheet here. Who would like to go first? No, well, spell all the caucus, so.
So I'm going to ask the team actually to contribute to the caucus report, but I will just give kind of a general summary, and that is there's a lot of disappointment, a lot of people feeling like they are not valued in the district, and people have said, there are employees at their site or their school who have said that they are just going to be walking because they can't afford to work for the district. It's not about wanting to anymore, it's about whether or not they're financially able.
Well, I just want to say something that I'm very disappointed about that, 2.5%. I want you to know, according to what was reported in the newspaper and the news tonight, the cost of living is about 7%. The cost of living. Food are raised 30%. I went a couple months ago, I used to buy the oil to cook in my wife to cook my house. I pay $19.99. BJ's. I get one last week is $23.99, $4 more. You know how much it is for $4 more. And according to the 2.5%, I will get between 38 cents and 40 something cents, more or less, an hour. Talking about 8 hours, you multiply how much money I'm gonna get a week, or every another week, with the cost of the living 7% and the food raising 30%. I can afford. I don't think so. So, I don't know about you, but 2.5% for me, making any sense.
Okay, that was a little bit of story in there. Instead of a report, but, all right, go ahead.
Okay, for me, I would be making 36 cents more or less. I have a family of 5, including me. My husband has his own business, and without him, we wouldn't even survive. I started off as a para 5 years ago in the district, and I was just working just to pay for insurance at the time, and for gas. It's almost the same thing now for daycare. I have 2 kids in the district and I have a 3-month-old. I didn't get paid any money when I was off on maternity leave because I didn't have any time, but they're still asking me for benefits money and I haven't even gotten a check yet. So 36 cents won't do anything. What can you get for 36 cents? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the district expects more out of us, I feel, as support. They want us to juggle many things, many jobs, wear many hats, but they can't expect more if they don't pay more. I'm sorry, I was 9 months pregnant doing lunch duty. I had to get a note to even get excused from it. I think that's a little ridiculous. I was an information specialist before I left for maternity leave, and now I'm a clerk typist, and I'm still doing stuff for information specialists. But do I get a thank you for being a nice person? No, I get 36 cents. It's very insulting. Very, very insulting. And even to hear from some of my colleagues that I've been here at the district for 5 years, and I get paid more than them, and they've been here for over 10. I don't want more than somebody that has been here longer. I want to be compensated the right amount, but that's a little sad. is very, very sad.
Okay. Do we have a report from the district?
Yes, a report.
Your report.
The district spoke about the prior conversation, story, and other things. We also discussed our desire to bring more information forward relative to employee groups in SPALC, which would provide the minimum, the mean, and the maximum people are making in those groups, trying to clump them together so as to not create a huge amount of work, and then what the market rate is in those groups, so the union can better understand what we're essentially talking about. So that's what we discussed.
No, it's just a different job description. Okay, thank you. That was gonna be one of my questions, if there were any data requests. So that probably fills some of those. Did SPALC have any data requests? Question? Sure. I'm gonna give our lead name.
My question is, when was the last time market rate was updated?
So we get quarterly updates on the software that we use, the Economic Research Institute Salary Assessor. So we're running that constantly in the background. As far as when was the last time that it was updated in the contracts, it's been 2 years, but we have the current data as far as October 1st. Because again, every 3 months it updates. Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag. I think I've mentioned this before. You know, after Hurricane Irma, we were watching because we knew that the rate for roofers was going to go up. It took about 6 months before it reflected in the numbers. With some of the COVID stuff, it's been 3 to 6 months behind where, you know, for food services, at some point it was skyrocketing and then it plummeted, and part of that was because restaurants were closed, and then they opened back up, and 3 months later it looked different. Some of that has calmed down, and for other positions it's pretty steady. We can see kind of what the rate of change is every 3 months, again, based on the data that they're receiving from Department of Labor and surveys and other sources that they use.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Yes.
So, Will, how would you market rate a paraprofessional? Because I'm curious about that, because we've been trying to get a market rate for paraprofessionals, but when this first started up with this market rate thing, because there's no other, from what I understood, there's no other district out there that will bring paras up to a market rate, right? Is that?
So if I'm understanding correctly, it is a little bit trickier for like instructional based positions. A lot of school districts do not use market rate. We do have the data that's from there, but for paras, even for some positions like school bookkeepers or other clinic assistant, we sometimes look at what does ERI tell us, and then also what does the Florida Department of Education say, because they report things a little bit differently. School bus drivers would be one. I know that when we looked at that at some point, and this was not just us, this was other districts as well. Orange County was saying, but we've got Mears, we've got Amazon, we do have some of those others. So looking just at other school districts, if every school district is struggling to find, food service workers, that's maybe not where, where you want to look. So where there is that DOE data, we look at that. We've done the same thing for some of our instructional positions. Social workers, school districts typically pay their social workers better than anyone else. And so just looking at the market rate, every school district's probably paying better than, a charity or DCF or whatever else. So maybe it's not what the market rate is, maybe it's what the market rate is among other school districts because, that's who we have to compete with. It depends on that for positions, but we always try and have at least a second, point of comparison to look at.
But there was no data for paraprofessional positions to compare to bring us up to a market rate because we never did move. Everybody else moved and everybody, the paras was wondering, well, when were we gonna be moved to a market rate? And then someone had put out that there was no comparison to nowhere for them to go up to market rate, which it is, but it'll be out of state.
We do have a market rate for paras. I think one of the challenges is differentiating, BI classroom, ESOL para, para at a special center. We currently pay different if you're at a Title I school. I think some of those things are harder to track, but just what is a para, a basic para, kind of fresh on the job, nothing really fancy about the work that they're being asked to do. We couldn't tell you what the market rate is for that. It'd be, how do you differentiate then for difficult assignments or locations or that kind of stuff that would be a little bit trickier.
Okay. Any other questions? Clarifications? All right, I heard the district say they're gonna bring some stuff back, Rob.
Well, I think as a starting point, not as a test at all to test, we'd like to put an option up there. Which would I guess be option 1 or A or? So the option.
Okay.
So the option would be a 2.5% salary increase across the entire unit. And the end of year bonus that we referred to earlier that we're going to discuss in labor management. Which obviously we don't have the amount of that yet, but that's what that would include.
Okay, so 2.5% salary increase across the entire element and end of the school year bonus to be discussed in SPALC labor management.
Correct.
Okay. Anybody? Yes. Ken?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you not earlier say that that money was coming from ESSER funds?
All of the money?
No, the end of year bonus.
Correct, because it's not reoccurring funds.
So that really should not be as part of the option since it's ESSER.
Well, it's our option. That's how bargaining works.
Okay, anything else?
Amy wants to add something.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a clarifying question. So that you were saying it shouldn't be part of the option because it's part of ESSER, but ESSER still is bargainable, right? We can't just say, okay, we're gonna do this or we're gonna do that, like we have to bargain it. So is there a particular reason why you were saying it shouldn't be a part of the option just because of the funding source?
Partly for our funding source and partly because I thought this was also going to be discussed as an MOU.
I gotcha. So it would be an MOU, but yes. And so it could be that, part of it is taken offline to discuss, but I just wanted to delineate that the fact that it's a different funding source doesn't mean that it shouldn't or is not supposed to be bargained or a part of any option, because there could be other types of compensation that we do from ESSER as well, still would need to be bargained and still would need to be either put up as options here and/or take it off to labor management to be discussed and kind of the details worked out there. So and I just say that to say this might be not be the last time you see that.
And if it makes you feel better, maybe we could make it
Right.
an option.
It's a delineation just to show it's not part of the 2.5%, so I hear you on that.
Right. 2.5% salary increase across the higher child unit is number one option, and number two would be end of school year bonus to be discussed at SPALC labor management. Would that make it clearer for you, Ken?
That would make it clearer, yes.
Okay. Okay. And then when a straw design comes up, then those could be combined in a straw design.
Yeah.
But right now, they're two separate options. We're not near a straw design yet, I don't think. Unless somebody's willing to say, yes, let's do it. Okay, so we have two options up there, and Rob said he's not putting them up there to be tested or anything. He just put them up there so that you can think about it, maybe come up with some different things, but sometimes it's good to have a starting point.
His questions were good questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, kind of, to get your brains working, sometimes it's good to have a starting point to look at, whether we do it or not. That's up to the group. I don't know if we can do anything further this evening. We have data coming back. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 15th.
I agree.
No, it's the 15th. 15th. Okay. So it would be December 15th at 4 p.m., which will give you plenty of time to think about it, and perhaps the language for the other articles that we mentioned tonight will be ready to bring back for approval as well. So with that,
Donna?
Yeah.
Because you kind of just covered the calendar, I think it's a good time to possibly discuss that. I know we only have 14 work days left before winter break.
Right.
But is there a desire or a chance that we could meet off of, like next week at some point, Wednesday, Thursday?
I'm in Orlando at a staff meeting.
All week?
Starting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we have Talc Monday.
Right.
Tuesday's a school board meeting, so. And then Elizabeth's away. Just trying to fit in another session.
Yeah, I understand.
No, I just was thinking, because when you mentioned calendar, I was just thinking, like, I just received a text from the school district. They moved the midterms up, so I don't know how that would affect everyone. They know a lot of us are going to be required to be there until the last minute for midterms to help out with the schools. So that's going to happen the week that we're supposed to meet, from the 14th through the 17th. So we might want to also keep that in mind.
Okay, thank you, Ken.
So maybe we can talk about this on Wednesday at labor management if we can possibly, I don't know how possible it's going to be to add a date between now and winter break, yeah. But I know, I'm thinking positive, and I was hoping we possibly could wrap this up before winter break. That's why I was trying to have another session.
Okay. All right, yeah, Wednesday, Tuesday, probably. Okay. All right, with that, thank you for putting in the extra hours this evening, and now we've got things to think about before our next meeting. So, have a good evening, everyone.